In this video, I'll be introducing you to the Cartesian plane. The goals for this video are for you to understand how points are located on the Cartesian plane, and for you to begin to understand the meaning of a graph as a picture of all possible solutions to an equation. Just to give you a little bit of history, the Cartesian plane is usually credited to the French mathematician René Descartes, who lived in about the 1600s. Of course, he wasn't the first person to use vertical and horizontal lines to locate objects or points, but we do usually credit him with the basic structure that we use today. The coordinate plane or Cartesian plane is also known as the coordinate plane or the XY plane, and it's comprised of just two number lines that intersect each other at 0, which is what we call the origin. So I'm going to give you a pictorial description here, and you have a description. Well, you have a blank grid on your worksheet as well, and as I fill in information, you should be filling in information on your worksheet. So here we have the Cartesian plane. I'm going to just draw the two vertical and horizontal number lines. You already have this drawn on your worksheet. The vertical number line is called the y-axis, and the horizontal is called the x-axis. These two meet at the center, which is what we call the origin. You could think of this as 0 on the x-axis and 0 on the y-axis. Okay, so I'm going to label some increments. Remember, these are number lines. I'm just going to go out to 5 on the positive x-axis and to -5 on the negative x-axis. Of course, these extend infinitely in both directions. On the y-axis, I'll also go up to 5. Notice that the positive values are above the origin and the negative values are below the origin. Okay, now these two number lines cut your plane into 4 pieces known as quadrants, and your first quadrant is in the upper right hand corner. It's where the x and y are both positive, and moving counterclockwise we have quadrant 2 in the upper left hand corner, quadrant 3 in the lower left hand corner, and quadrant 4. Now it's important that you know the different quadrants so that if you are describing the location of something and you say quadrant 3, you should be sure that you're talking about the right quadrant. Now, all points that can be located on this plane are located using what's called an ordered pair. And an ordered pair has two values, an x and a y, and we surround it with parentheses. The x coordinate is what tells us about the horizontal distance or the horizontal position that the point is from the origin. That's always listed first. The y-coordinate is the vertical distance or vertical position that the point is from the origin, and that's always listed second. You could remember which comes first because x comes before y in the alphabet. Alright, so we're going to practice plotting some points here. These are not the same points that you have on your worksheet, so you can watch as I plot these and then you can plot the ones that you have. First I have A is 3, 5, so that means I'm starting at the origin, going out to 3, and then up to 5 before placing my point for A. The next point I have is B, which is 2, 0, so from the origin I'm moving 2, and I'm not going up or down, so it's just sitting on the x-axis. The next point is -3, 1, so I'm going to -3 on the x-axis and then up to 1 on the y-axis. And there's my C. Next I have D, which is the point 0, -3. So that means I'm not going left or right at all, just going down to -3 on the y-axis. Next I have E, which is located by the coordinates -4 and -2. So here we have -1, 2, 3, 4, -1, 2, and there's my E. And finally F is 5, -4, so it means I'm going out to 5 on the x-axis and then down to -4 on the y-axis. Okay, so take a moment here and practice plotting the points that you have on your worksheet, and then meet me back to talk about a little bit more. Okay, so hopefully you have plotted the points on your worksheet. The next part of this video, we're just going to begin to discuss how points can be described as solutions for an equation, and then you'll have a little exercise that will ask you to go through and pick some points and plot them. Okay, sorry if there was a little delay there. Had a little difficulty with my next page opening up here. Alright, so once again, the next piece here will be just to kind of give you that introduction on what a point means. So we're going to just talk about here how to tell if a point is a solution to an equation. And it seems like this is a little slow here. Okay, how to tell if an ordered pair is a solution to an equation. Okay, so here's an example. So I'm going to give you an ordered pair. So I'm asking you, is 1, 3 a solution to the equation x plus 3y equals 10? Okay, so here, since we have an ordered pair, let's just write out what the variables are. So x is 1 and y is equal to 3. And I'm going to substitute those into my equation to see if it gives me a true statement. So in place of x, I'm going to put it a 1, and in place of y, I'll plug in a 3. And now I just want to see if the left-hand side equals the right-hand side. So I see after doing order operations, I do get a true statement. 10 is equal to 10, which means yes, it is a solution. For your second example, is negative 2, 5 a solution to the equation two x plus y equals negative 3. Alright, so once again here, I'm writing out x is negative 2, my y is 5, and I'm going to plug those in for the variables. So I have 2 times negative 2 plus 5 equals negative 3, and again, I want to see if this is true. It may not be. So it gives me negative 4 plus 5 is negative 3, or 1 is negative 3, and I know that is not true. So that means no, that point is not a solution. Okay, so what you have on your worksheet is an equation, and I'm asking you to come up with any ordered pairs that are a solution to that equation. And you'll see for that equation there are many, many different answers. You may just want to start thinking about integers first, so positives and negatives. You're going to pick 5 of those points, plot the points on your graph, and then tell me what the picture looks like. All right, so hopefully you are okay with that, and I will address any questions that you may have, but just do the best you can and get whatever points you have down, and we'll talk about it in class. Good luck.